Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2009, or as I like to call it, Y2K plus IX. Now, I know New Year's Eve was a couple of days ago, but I decided to keep this party going until I have to return the tuxedo. But this is the time of year when we all make our New Year's resolutions. And this year, I have made resolutions that I am pretty sure I can keep. For 2009, I resolved to lose more hair, to watch more television, and to take more naps in the middle of the afternoon. In addition to that, as if that weren't enough, in addition to that, I also resolved to continue finding the most interesting stories in the news and bringing them to you with the Friday Funnies. So here then is the first Friday Funnies for 2009. Let this first story of the new year be a warning to wrongdoers everywhere. This happened up in Portland, Oregon, where a naked man broke into the house of an 88-year-old woman. He grabbed the woman, forced her into the living room, pushed her head down into a chair, and this is when Granny decided to take matters into her own hands. She reached behind her and grabbed the nude intruder. I mentioned the guy was naked. Grabbed him by, what will you call it, Big Steve and the twins. And she had an arthritic grip and would not let go, man. It's like a G.I. Joe kung fu grip. Anyhow, this guy starts yelling and screaming, and eventually he broke loose and ran away. So what do we learn from this story? Well, two things. First of all, if you're going to break into someone's home, wear some clothing, at least some pants. I don't know what this guy was thinking. Perhaps it was laundry day at his house. And secondly, and most importantly, never, ever, ever mess with an old lady, because they can be very mean.
Help!
Well, I don't know if it's an alignment of the planets or simply a coincidence, but our second story this week also comes to us from Portland, Oregon. Up there at the Washman Car Wash in Portland, a gunman walked in, went up to an employee, and demanded money. Well, the employee took some money, put it in a bag, and as the gunman went to reach for the bag, the employee reached for the pressure washer hose. That's right, he hit this guy with a 2,000 PSI power washing hose, knocking him down, and he soaked him up quite well. So this guy ran away without the money, but he was very clean and shiny. And it makes me wonder, I wonder if this guy didn't just take his wet clothes off and break into the house of an old lady. Now, this is very strange. This next story also comes to us from Portland, but this is Portland, Maine, on the other side of the country. Over there, a guy, an intoxicated man, I should say, he broke into an ice rink, the home of the Portland Pirates hockey team. And then he hot-wired the Zamboni machine, the machine they used to clean the ice. And he climbed up in that and just started playing bumper cars with it. He rammed it into the wall, ran it over the nets, and eventually he passed out in the driver's seat. And police were called, and they came, they arrested him for burglary and for DUI. So he is currently in the penalty box awaiting trial. And as our final story of the first week of the new year, it happened right here in Chicago. An armed robber walked into a Fifth Third bank location, handed the teller a note that said, "Give me money or I start shooting." So the teller handed the gunman a bag full of money. He left and left his note behind. His note was written on the other side of his paycheck stub. And his paycheck stub had his name and address. So, what have we learned from this story? What kind of a name is Fifth Third Bank? Wouldn't a more accurate name be called Bank and Two Thirds? Hey, that's all I've got for you this week. My real goal this year is to have the Friday Funnies seen around the world. So please forward these on to everybody you know and even people you don't know, so that in 2009, everybody will have a happy Friday. Okay, I gotta go. I think it's time to get the suit back.